I will be happy when. How many times have you finished that sentence? I will be happy when I get that promotion, when I lose 10 pounds, when I hit 100,000 subscribers. We treat happiness like a destination, a place on a map that we are trying to drive to. But there is a glitch in human psychology that most of us don't see until it is too late. Today, I want to tell you the story of Arthur, a man who won everything he ever wanted and found out that the prize was actually a punishment. This is a story about the psychology of the arrival. Arthur was what you'd call a high achiever. He wasn't greedy. He was just waiting. He lived his entire life in the future tense. At 22, he lived in a tiny apartment, eating ramen, he told himself. I will be happy when I make manager. He worked 60 hours per week. He sacrificed weekends. And 2 years later, he got the promotion. And here is the crucial part. He was happy for about 3 weeks. The dopamine hit was incredible. He felt validated. He felt successful. But by week 4, the title of manager just felt normal. The stress was higher, the hours were longer, and that glowing feeling of success had evaporated. Arthur didn't blame his brain. He blamed the target, he thought. Oh, I aimed too low. Manager isn't enough. I will be happy when I am the VP. So, the cycle reset. 5 years passed. Arthur is now a vice president. He buys the dream house on the hill. He buys the luxury car with the heated leather seats. He drives that car into his driveway, looks at his massive house, and waits for the feeling of eternal joy to wash over him. He felt nothing. Well, actually, that's not true. He felt fear because he had reached the top of the mountain, looked at the view, and realized he still felt exactly like the guy eating ramen in the tiny apartment. What Arthur experienced is a well-documented psychological phenomenon called the Arrival Fallacy. Coined by psychologist Tal Ben-Shahar, the Arrival Fallacy is the delusion that achieving a specific goal will lead to lasting happiness. Here's why your brain tricks you. As humans, we are wired for the hunt, not the feast. Biologically, dopamine is the chemical that makes us feel good, is a reward prediction error signal. It spikes when we are anticipating the reward, or when we just get it. But once the reward is secured, your brain adapts. This is called hedonic adaptation. It's your brain's way of returning you to a baseline emotional state so that you're ready to hunt for the next thing. Arthur wasn't broken. His brain was doing exactly what it evolved to do, normalize success so he would keep striving. But Arthur interpreted this normalization as failure. Back to the story. Arthur is sitting in his expensive car, in his expensive driveway, having a panic attack. He sees his neighbor, an elderly man named George, tending to a garden. George doesn't have a big house. He drives a beat-up truck. Arthur walks over. Desperate, he asks, George, you always look happy. What's your secret? What are you waiting for? George looks at Arthur, confused. He wipes dirt off his hands and says, I am not waiting for anything. I am just gardening. It hit Arthur like a ton of bricks. Arthur was treating his life like a waiting room for a doctor's appointment that never happens. George was treating his life like a garden. You don't garden to finish the garden. You garden to be in the garden. Something like that, probably. Anyways, Arthur realized he had spent 15 years climbing a ladder, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. The psychological truth is this: you cannot bank happiness for later. If you are miserable on the journey, you will be miserable at the destination. The geography changes, the salary changes, but you are still you. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have goals. Chase the promotion, buy the house, but stop telling yourself, I'll be happy when. Instead, try saying, I am happy while. I am happy while I am building this business. I am happy while I am writing this book. Arthur didn't quit his job. He didn't sell his house, but he stopped waiting. He started enjoying his morning coffee today, not the idea of the coffee he'd have when he retired. So, my question for you is, what is the thing you are convincing yourself will fix everything? And what would happen if you stopped waiting for it and just started living right now? That's all. I won't prolong things by telling you to like and subscribe, but hopefully see you in the next one.